Thank you and welcome. Today, we will be looking at one of our web applications. We'll be demonstrating how to use our web application to register a new employee, to edit the new employee record. Also, we'll be looking at how to use our web application to raise invoices. We would also be looking at how flexible it is to get reports out of the database. Opened here is a Google Chrome browser. Our web application runs on most browsers, which includes Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome, Apple Safari, and Internet Explorer. To your left are links which, when clicked, will open forms in the middle. Let's first start with the staff data entry, which is used for capturing a new employee's record. We've clicked on the staff data entry link and it's opened a form. Now, this form has 4 tabs: the biodata, history, next of kin, employment details. So we are going to populate it briefly and see how the software works. So let's just put in some data. The title, Chief Mr. M for Mr. First name. Let's assume we're dealing with someone whose name is Uche James Chuka. Of course, person is a male. And the mobile number, just for the sake of this demo, email uche@yahoo.com. Now, let's look at the age. The software will help us determine the age. Today is the 28th of May 2015. 28th of May 2015. So let's assume Uche was born sometime in 1970. Here the date picker has popped up. To make it fast, just click on the year and you could just type directly 1970 or decide to use this navigation buttons here, but let's not assume we just, for time's sake, we are typing it directly 1970. So Uche was born 1970. Now let's change the month also. Let's say it was born February, let's say February 27. So automatically it tells us Uche is 45 years old. Point 4 telling us that couple of months. Now let's change Uche's year of birth to, if it's 45 now, let's change it to 1980. That should tell us that Uche will be 35 years old then. Okay. If Uche was born in 1980, January 24, let's just give it another January 24, so you should be 35 years old. Okay, we've seen it. So Uche is 35 years old. Shows how flexible it is using this software. Now, the state of origin, let's assume is from Anambra. Work phone, let's just put something there. Okay, the history, employment history, where Uche has worked in before. Let's assume Uche has worked in Case Holdings. Let's assume there's a company called that. Medical history, Let's assume Uche is diabetic. So the company can use this to determine the kind of job Uche can be involved in. Educational history has a BSc, MSc, okay. Next of kin. Now Uche is married, and so next of kin, let's check his surname, Chuka. So next of kin, Mrs. Let's give the wife Ngozi Chuka. The telephone number of Mrs. Ngozi Chuka, address 123 ABC Avenue, Anambra. The relationship, she is a wife to Uche. Next of kin, let's assume there's a second next of kin, Miss Annabelle Chuka. Let's assume she's the daughter of Mr. Uche. Or, considering his age, he might not have such a daughter that is up to 18 years old, but we could still put her as next of kin. Address same as above, and relationship with Uche, daughter. So Annabelle is a daughter, and Ngozi Chuka is his wife. Now here is the employment details. When was Uche employed? 28, which is today's date by default. The branch, let's assume Uche is going to be in the Lagos branch. What of department? Admin, post, admin manager, rank, this today's date. So we are through with the capturing. So let's go through. Uche, the branch is Lagos, so we submit. So it tells us one record has been added. Now, let's now go to staff list per specific branch. And let's try to locate Lagos. Alright, we can see here Uche that we captured is here. Uche, Chuka, male, Lagos. So, beautiful. Shows how flexible our application is. Now we're going to go ahead to capture somebody else's record also in Lagos to demonstrate that the software is. So let's assume we're dealing with a female, Mrs. Titi Adeton Alao, female, mobile number, work number, email, tt@hotmail.com. Okay, so again, we're going to look at how the functionality for age works. So Titi was born 19. Let's now use the date navigation well here to see. Okay, she was born 1975, and let's pick September 25. So somebody born 1975, September 25 is not yet 40 years old as at 28th of May. So it tells us it's 39 point something, not yet up to 40 years old. So the state of origin, let's look for, okay, let's say Ekiti State. And employment history, let's assume she works at ABC Limited. Medical history, uh, poor eyesight, or let's say short-sightedness. Short-sightedness. Okay, education as a BSc and MSc. Next of kin now, let's assume she's married. Mr. Let's look for a surname Alao. So let's assume Tunde Alao is her husband's name. Telephone number, next of kin address 146 Adeolu Close, Lagos. Okay. Next of kin relationship, husband. Let's now assume she has a son, Master Femi Alao. Next of kin telephone number, address same as above, and next of kin relationship, son. Okay. Employment details, when was she hired? Let's assume she wasn't hired today, so let's assume she was hired 13th of May, which is roughly a week prior to today. She is to work at Edo State Office and our department enrollment posts. Okay, let's just leave it like that. Posts admin. Looking for, let's change the department to admin janitor, and there isn't much post to be added here, so let's just, for the sake of this demonstration, put her also as admin manager. Rank AO3. Okay, so she is in Edo State, that's the branch is working in, so we would have to filter by Edo State, or let's add Lagos. Let's put it at Lagos. So now we would expect Lagos to have both Alao and Uche that we captured earlier on. So we're meeting with her. It tells us one record has been added. So we can go back and say we want to see the number of people in Lagos. So now we can see Uche, the earlier data we captured, male Lagos, and Mrs. Titi Alao, female Lagos. Now, our application is so flexible that if you now decide that you want to exclude Lagos, this is staff list excluding a specific branch. We want to see all the staff we have in this company, but we do not want Lagos employees to pop up. So we remove Lagos and we click on print. Take note, Alao and Uche are not here because we have removed them from the list. Now, if we were to remove Cross River State from the list, Chief John James and Mrs. Patricia Johnson will not be there, but Alao and Titi surely will be there because now Lagos will come in. So we are going to remove Cross River State and click on print. Alright, it's already popped up. Uche and Titi are there, but those under Cross River are no more there. You can also decide to export to PDF, Excel, Word, or HTML. Okay, so let's demonstrate Excel here. We've clicked on Excel. It's opening Excel. Okay, it's open Excel for us. So we click on the Excel. So I'm waiting for it to open. It's already saved. It will still open in Excel. Alright, so that's it. You can see Uche, Chuka, and Titi Alao. And so here now you can now make any modifications, or if you want to send it to someone, you can now send it. So we do not want to say, so I'm going to say no. So we're back to our web application. Now, let us now look at a very powerful feature in our web application. It's the edit module. The edit module makes it possible for you to do quite a lot of editing of an active record, and the feel and look is different from that of the data entry form. This is the edit module. It has a search functionality on top. Then it has a grid where we can view all that we've entered. This is the last two records we entered, James Chuka and Adetun Walao. It also finally has a detailed view record where we can now actually make the modifications. So let's try out the search functionality. Let's assume we just want to filter, we want those in Lagos alone to come up. Now once I click on search, it should only give me two records, because two records are the one in Lagos State that applies to employees in Lagos State. So I'm going to click on search now. So it's giving us two records. This functionality is very, very useful when you have a large database and you don't want to see unnecessary records, irrelevant records based on the decision or the data you are looking out for. So it's giving us two records, and then I can now go here and say, oh, Uche's name is actually Uche, but it wants to be called Uchenna. So that is done, and then I can come here to click on to save this record. That's commit the edit, and it tells me it's now Uchenna. Once I click on clear search, it should bring in all the records. Yes, seeing all the records. So this is very, very useful. It's flexible. You can also determine the records per page. You can determine also at the grid level the records per page. So if I just want two records, now it's giving us two records, the first two records. I can now navigate. But if I say I want to view, let's assume 10 records, surely to bring out all, because we don't have up to 10 records. Alright, so we can see it's brought out all that we need here. Alright, that is we've demonstrated the edit functionality. Now let's go to the invoicing. This is an invoice. Very easy to use. System date is fixed by default. Your customer ID, invoice number, it can be changed to an auto field. Let's assume we're sending the customer Johnson Industries. Okay, and the billing address Johnson Avenue. Okay, Bill City. Let's leave this one for now. Now let's go to this place, which is actually the line items. Let's assume quantity is 2. The part number is, let's say, 24234. Quantity is 2. Description, we'll leave that blank for now. Let's assume the price is 2,500. So this place should give us 5,000 naira. So that's 5,000 naira. Automatically, when you come down, it tells you it's 5,000 naira. Your tax rate, which is VAT, is 5%. 5% of 5,000 naira is 250 naira. So what you need to charge the customer is 5,250, assuming there's no shipping. But if there's shipping, let's assume shipping is let's assume 1,000 naira for the sake of this demonstration. So it tells us it's 6,250. Now we're going to another pack number. Let's assume the pack number is 345 and the quantity is 3 and it is 1,500 per one. So that should be 4,500. Automatically it sums it up. 9,005, 5% of 9,005 is already 475 as against the initial value. Then plus shipping cost of 1,000 naira, it tells us 10,975. Now, this app is so flexible that if you want to add a line item, just click on the plus button. It changes now to, this is now 4 records. If you want to delete a line item, you've deleted, want to delete another, you've deleted. So it's flexible enough. If, for example, it's just only 2 records, 2 line items you want to capture, there's no need having 3, 4, 5, 6 line items. It's just 2 line items. But if it is more than 2 line items, just click on the plus button and you can add more and more and more as much as you want. So this is a demonstration of our invoice module. It's straightforward and very, very flexible. Now let's go on to the staff list by date hired. Okay, the earlier records we captured, we employed Uche 28th of May, while we employed the female, we employed her 13th of May, that is allowed. So let's just filter. We want to see those people employed on the 28th of May. So let's see whether it will give us what we want. Okay, it tells us Uchenna was employed on the 28th of May. Let's now assume we just want those employed on 13th of May 2015. It should give us Alao's name. Alright, so it's changed. TT is our name, F number is different. But let's say we want to filter from 13th to 28th. It should give us 2 names. Alright, so we can see Uchenna and TT giving 2 records. As usual, you can export to Excel, Word, PDF. So it's really very flexible. The other features here, states, where you can add more states. So let's assume in the staff date edit, let's look at the states we currently have. We are going to look for where we will get the dates. Okay, now let's look at the branch first. The branches we have here, Oyo, Benue, okay, we can see here that there's no branch called Abuja. So let's see how flexible it is to add more branches. I've clicked on the branches and I'm going to add Abuja as a branch, and of course Abuja should be in Abuja, and we just put the address. We tackle the mailing address if the branch has a separate mailing address, for example abuja@abc.com, and the telephone number of Abuja, contact person, email and coverage area. Then we submit. Alright, just 1 record has been added. Now let's go and verify whether Abuja has been added to the list of branches. Okay, yeah, this is Abuja. So it's the same thing for states, it's the same thing for department, adding departments and the rest. So I want to say a big thank you for the time you've given us. Let's try to look at, let me see, department, staff list by specific department. Okay, admin, did we enter someone for admin? Yes, I think so, admin. So let's see. Okay, Uchenna, Chuka. So where did we put Mrs. Alao? Let me see whether it's admin janitor. Not too sure. Yes, admin janitors where we put Mrs. Titi Alao. So this is a report staff list by specific department. So you want to see those employees in a particular department, irrespective of the branch they are under. So this is the end of our short presentation on our web application. Please take note, we did not treat handling images, video files, and dealing with calculated fields, like if you want a web application that has to do with payroll or financial and all the rest. In subsequent demos, we will be showing you how to handle such issues. Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. Thanks a lot.